should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Hi guys, Linda Antwi with the Melanated Way. We have a special treat for you today. All us single ladies, just single people in general, we have the relationship expert, Tracy McMillan. Welcome so much to our show.
Hey Linda, how are you guys?
I'm fabulous. I'm fabulous. You know, trying to
Hey.
stay out of this little bit of a heat wave, but I'm good. No complaints. How are you?
Really well, thank you. And very excited about this next season of Family or Fiance.
Okay, so let's get into it. Family
do
or
it.
Fiance. Tell us a little bit about what the show is about.
So Family or Fiance is about, it's a relationship reality show about a couple who wants to get married and their families are against it. So what we do is we take the whole gang, 3 members of each family from each side, and everybody lives under the same roof for 3 days. So that's 8 people. 3 from each side and the couple. And things get worked out. All I can say is healing happens, drama happens, tears happen, love happens. It's an amazing process.
So Tracy, do you walk them through exercises? Do they confront each other about whatever the issues are? Like,
Yes.
How does that work?
Yes. So my role is I'm the relationship coach who walks them through the process of getting the blessings from their family. So we have a blessing ceremony on day 3 where we go to each person that they've brought and said, do you bless this marriage, this upcoming marriage? And all kinds of things happen, you know. Not everybody makes it. Not every couple makes it to the end of this process. But what I can say is they all learn more about who they are, their families, what stuff they're bringing into a relationship, and so much healing happens. So we have exercises for them. Usually there'll be issues that are very clear. Now the issues are sometimes with the couple, and sometimes the issues are with the family, and sometimes the issues are between, like, let's say a mom and a son, or a sister and the fiance. You know, it'll just be something in there, and then the exercises are aimed at bringing those issues to the surface and having a healing.
Oh Lord, I got stuck when you said some of them don't make it. Tracy, they're engaged already and they don't make it. Oh Lord, I'm having a flashback.
Some of them don't make it. And you know, here's the thing: like our show, every episode is a different couple in a different family. So what happens is they have an experience with us, and then they have to go home and live with not just the fallout, but the revelations that happen while they're shooting. So sometimes they don't make it while they're with us, and sometimes they don't make it when they go home. But I will say this though, other couples are strengthened by the process, and the families are strengthened by the process. It's pretty amazing. Because we're on our 2nd season of this show. We've done a lot of episodes of it, and you can really see there is a process that happens, and it works.
Now, let me ask you, what do you feel and what have you seen is the biggest issue that families have? Because, like, I have straight African parents, Tracy.
Okay.
And, you know, we were raised with, you're going to marry and you're going to become these 2 things, lawyer, doctor, engineer, you pick one, and then go ahead and pick a spouse that is equivalent to that.
Yes.
And that's it. If the person is a famous artist, no, not good enough. If that person is an entrepreneur, not good enough. So for me, that was the issue, like getting over the traditional, what is a great job to have. What do you find is usually the issue with the families?
Well, it's stuff like that, you know, it'll be like cultural differences. So we've actually done that episode where we had the African mom from Ghana.
That's where we're from.
Oh, awesome. So we had the Ghana mom, and she doesn't play. She did not come here to play. She is here for what she's here for. And her son, who was her shining glory, found this woman who was a teacher. I mean, the most lovely woman, but also had a kid. And that is not what mom had in mind. That is not what she had in mind. But you know what? We had a healing on that one. So it'll be cultural issues. It'll be things like very often, couple things happen. Sometimes you have where there's an issue going on in the couple and the families are willing to look at it and the couples are not. Mm-hmm. Right? So the couples are like, no, we just are in love. We don't want to know about any of these problems. So that's one of the main things that happen. The other main thing I would say that happens is that one, either the man or the woman in the couple is putting the parent first. Mm. So I always say that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are the world's most famous episode of Family or Fiance because this is just it's for all time, this issue where you have chosen someone that is not working for your family for whatever reason. But what it comes down to is that you have to pick the partner. Yeah. And the partner has to be primary. The partner has to come first. So a lot of times, mom, her problem will be that her son, she wants to be number one. And she's having a hard time coming to terms with the fact that she's no longer going to be number one. Oh, and yeah. I'm very clear. He has to pick the partner or the marriage is going to be a mess, you know?
Agreed. Which is interesting that you said that because we're going to play a little fun game later. But I do want to talk about your history because you're like amazing. I can't even say you're a triple threat because you're more than that. Writer, author, TED talker, you know, you're a host, all WGA winner for Mad Men. You've written a book. So this is what happened, Tracy. I went and read this, Why You're Not Married, because I already explained to you, you know, African family. Yeah. And, you know, TikTok. Mm-hmm. And when I read your article, I was like, oh my God, am I a bitch? Am I shallow? Am I a slut? Am I like, I went down your list and I was like, I am not any of those things. But then when I got to that last one where you talked a little bit about you are not good enough, it was interesting that spin that you had. And I think that is something that is just so, you're just so full of wisdom.
Well, I always say that because I've made all the mistakes. Like I'm sort of the jailhouse lawyer of relationship coaches. I've done so much work on my own case that now I can help you with yours. You know, there's, you know, that you learn a lot from success. Like a lot of people in this space, they got married once, they've been married for 25 or 30 years. They're like, that's my credential, you know, aside from their professional credentials. And I'm like, oh, not me. I've been married 3 times and I've made every mistake and I've learned from my mistakes. There's no shame in it. Like we live a long time. Relationships are complex. Families are complex. And I feel like what I'm trying to bring to it is, you know, I feel like the Sex and the City notion of relationships was, you know, you go girl, you know, it was very like, you're too fabulous, right? And I just could see that fabulous actually isn't a problem. You know what's a problem? Not knowing how to love, not knowing how to put your, what the purpose of a relationship is, or even having a purpose for your relationship, you know? Yeah. Now there's a lot of science on this. This is the other thing. I'm into the science of relationships. There's been tons of studies done just in the last 5 or 10 years on adult attachment and how attachment works. And that's all, you know, we're mammals, we pair bond. This is not about like what your grandma says or what your best friend says. There are certain things that if you do them, you will have a more unified, loving relationship. And if you don't, you won't. And so I'm here to talk about those things. And a lot of that is about basically attachment stuff and putting your partner first and being unified with them. And so I feel like even though I'm in a pop cultural space with it, I'm basically interested in the science more than any other thing. Because
but you know what?
Science is
you know
good.
What's beautiful about that though, Tracy, is that be in the pop culture because that's where you're going to grab them, right? You're going to grab them and they're actually learning. So even with family and fiance or family or fiance, you're watching, but you're also like, hey, I can relate to that. Hey, I can relate to that. And that starts the conversation.
Yeah.
Would that be accurate to say?
Yeah, I think that my interest in all this. And honestly, I would do this. The reason I do this, I've been doing this, just with girlfriends or people I know. I would have people go, hey, can I have my friend call you? And that's sort of how I got started in all this. But I just think we suffer from our inability to connect. And obviously relationships are a really hard area for a lot of people. And I feel like there is information that if you knew it, you would have a different set, you would have different choices. And you would also see yourself differently. Like if you understand attachment and attachment theory, you will see yourself in a different way. And you will see the people you're dating in a different way. And it gives you options instead of being stuck in these narratives where everything's about, I'm not good enough, or they're not good enough, or any of those things, So there's a lot to it. And I'm super grateful for the opportunity to help people, honestly, because that's what we're trying to do. And we do it. I see the look in the family's eyes on day 3. It's like, we all grow. I grow for sure. Every couple who sits down, I'm like, damn, did you come here for me? Like, because I have that problem, or I had that problem,
Yeah.
So.
I love it. Okay, we're gonna play a quick game. It's going to be almost like word association. I'm going to give you 2 words, and it's going to be lightning speed. You have to pick the word that you think is more important.
Okay.
So first pairing, partner or family?
Partner.
Love or romance?
Love.
Intimacy
The
or
verb.
sex?
The verb.
Yes. Intimacy or sex?
That's a tough one.
Right?
I wouldn't oppose those 2 things, but I would say in a partnership, I'm going to say intimacy, but sex is really important.
Couple or happy? That's a trick one.
Couple or happy? Well, if you're doing couple right, you're going to be happy. So I'll say couple.
Date night or girls' guys' night?
Date night.
And parents or kids?
Parents or kids? I'm going to say kids.
Okay. Good job.
Now,
good job.
Think something about that, because I hear where you're going with all these, and I'm like, I think the number one thing is the couple. And this is what people do not get. This is the research. You have to put the couple first. Have to.
I agree.
I had somebody ask me the other day, so wait, do you always have to take into consideration what, the man wants? I mean, this was a woman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in a couple? Yes. And then he always has to take into consideration what the woman wants. And you want to have that beneficial regard for each other, because it's either a vicious cycle down or a beneficial cycle up. And it's like, we have to choose it 1 minute at a time. We are choosing to love this person as an action. It's not a feeling. You have to be able to do this even when you're not having the feeling.
Yeah. Girl, listen, Tracy, it has to be the couple first, especially even with your show, the fiance, you have to be the couple first. You have to be the people that came together so that you can be the union in the forever that's your future. If you start like, oh no, my mama said and my dad said and my friend, then that's where it's like there's too many people in this one pot. I often say on my show that the 4 things that I have to talk about, and I want to ask the relationship expert, you, if you agree with this. So the 4 things that I think that we have to go back to is talking about religion or faith, children, your views on children, your views on sex, and your views on money. Do you think that still stands true to this day?
Oh, for sure. Any one of those things can become a point of conflict, because those are the places where people have very strong implicit, like they're not even realizing that they have a strong viewpoint necessarily. But here's what I would say. Yes, but it's not that you have to agree on everything. That isn't it, because you're not going to agree. And I've actually I realize, like, to me, it's not so much about like, you like purple, I like purple too, because that is actually not going to get you the relationship you need. What is going to get you there is, knowing who you are and being honest and sort of not selling yourself out and not selling your partner out, right? Taking care of yourself and taking care of your partner. So what does that mean? It's about stating needs, and then the partner states the needs around sex, money, kids. What was the other one?
Faith related.
Stating needs, and then I honestly state my needs. They honestly state their needs, and then we negotiate to a win-win.
Yeah.
And so, yes, all those things are going to come into play, but actually people's views on those things change. People have one idea about kids, and then they have them, and then they have a new idea about kids. So it's about stating your needs and having each partner be committed to the win-win. That is, to me, where it is. It's not about like, we're exactly the same, because weirdly, that's not enough. What you need is the more structural thing, not the surface thing. And weirdly, similarities are surface. Structure is, you're a systems thinker, I'm a systems thinker. Structural is, I am more emotionally driven. You are more emotionally driven. You know, the problems happen at that level, not at the level of, you know, we both like country music, you know, or whatever. So yeah.
Exciting. So show premieres July 17th, 10 p.m. Very, very excited for it. And then one last question I have for you, Tracy.
Okay.
We did talk a lot about it, and I think it's great, but this is like a personal thing that I kind of researched. So you, I read, are a regular performer at Sit and Spin, Comedy Central.
Not lately, but yes.
Pardon?
Not lately, but yes.
Yeah, not lately. Pre-pandemic, I'll say.
Right.
So you have a lot of hats that you can wear. What's your favorite hat to wear?
This one. You know, I think my favorite, I mean, I love writing television. Obviously, it's super wonderful, but this is what I would do. I think the way you decide how to allocate your time is, what can you do that no one else can do as you do it, right? So it's like, when I look around, and if I had to choose, it's like, you know, there's other people who can write TV. There's probably a few things only I could do in TV, and I want to focus on those things. But this is like my calling, you know? This is where I said, not to be annoyingly quoting my own TED Talk, but I did learn, it's not because I said it, it's because I learned it, that the places where you have the most struggle and the most over your life, the most struggle are the places where you have the most to give. And this is the area, because I was a foster child, because of my specific history, this is where I have the most singular thing to, you know, release into the world. I feel like we have gifts. Our job is to figure out how to release those gifts into the world. And it wouldn't need to be a TV show. I would be releasing this gift into the world in line at Target, if that's what somebody, if somebody came to me and said, hey, what should I do? So I just think it's about doing it wherever you are and lighting up your little corner of the world. So
I love that. Love that. You guys check out Owen's Family or Fiance, July 17th, 10 p.m. Be there, be square. Tracy, thank you so very much for being here.
Linda.
And I'm going to probably, you know, side note, be looking you up and sending you a little message like, hey, girl, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm totally here for that.
I love it.